Hola! Yay!
Hello.
Hello! I guess we'll start with just introducing who you are and everything. So, you guys, this is my wonderful coach, Lauren. I found her during the pandemic, of course, and people who know me know that I've always been into fitness, at least since 2018 and stuff like that. I've danced my entire life. But my fitness journey had kind of come to a halt and everything. I wasn't able to dance at the time. I was getting pretty uncomfortable. I was binge eating a lot, which I noticed. And I was kind of feeling like I was on this endless hamster wheel of trying to work out, and then I would restrict myself for an entire week, and then I would binge over the weekend and then be back at square one at the beginning of the week. But I was also trying to help other people in their nutrition journey, which it's not my jazz anymore. I don't think I want to do that. But I figured out that I like to be responsible for myself, so that's not a goal of mine. But yeah, I had found Lauren's page and everything, and it was kind of when I was on a search for a nutrition coach, because I was I need somebody to help me. I need someone to hold me accountable and give me just better tactics to help me do something that's sustainable. So yeah, I ended up finding Lauren, and I saw that she was a bikini competitor at one point, and then went on her own journny of, rebalancing hormones and fixing habits and stuff of that nature. So I'll let you explain all of that, of course. But that's just how I came across her page, and I reached out, and yeah, the rest is history at that point.
I wanted you to do an intro too, because I think your background, all of your athletic background is really pertinent, and I have a point to make with that. I'm sure I feel like is a very extensive Q&A. Everybody had a lot of really great questions, so I'm excited to do this, and I'm really excited to hear some of your, in your own words and your answers too. I kind of have an idea, but yeah, I think Kyra summed it up pretty nicely. I've always been an athlete, lifelong athlete, and then I got into bikini competitions in 2014. That's when I started coaching and doing my own nutrition journey and doing all of that. So I've been doing this for about 7 years, and yeah, bikini bodybuilding was great on one hand, and then not so great on the other. It's kind of a mixed bag. I was an IFBB pro for 2 years. I went to the Olympia for both years. Yeah, I ended up with some health issues because of that, because I just kind of took things a little bit too far. And so my coaching is really a blend of I know how to help people reach their aesthetic goals, but because of the extreme ways that I had done things, or because of the ways that I had, just gone to too many extremes, holistic health became super important to me. So that's what my coaching includes, is really a holistic thing, because I think if you bring all of this together and really focus on the health aspect of it and these really simple strategies that I know that we'll talk about today, then weight loss is typically a side effect. So yeah, that's me. I'm originally from Oregon. I'm currently in Costa Rica. Kyra, I would love for you to introduce yourself, where you're from, how old you are, what you do, and then your background, because I really think your background is important when it comes to your level of success.
Got you. All right. So Kyra Claxton here, for any of her followers that are in here. I am a professional dancer. I'm 25 years old. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've done my entire life is dance. But yeah, I started dancing around 4 years old, and then got serious about it at 10, started doing competitions and stuff of that nature. I danced in college as well, and then decided to go into the commercial industry. Pretty much my senior year of college is when I started to transition and really started to go to take different classes and start to network and things of that nature. And yeah, I pretty much do, well, a commercial dancer, I can't even say that we're in this box necessarily, because usually whatever they call us to do, we'll kind of just do. So I've done I've done Greenleaf and was a praise dancer on there. I've done the MTV VMAs and stuff like that with Normani. I'm currently doing spot dates with Keith Sweat and everything. So it ranges between television, film, and live performance and stuff like that. Still have a lot of stuff that I really, really, really want to do and stuff like that. So I haven't even begun to reach exactly where I want to go. But the reason I even started on the weight loss journey was because I was getting really uncomfortable with like even taking classes or being on television or even like doing anything film, because the, you know, like the camera makes you look different at the end of the day. And
it really does add 15 pounds.
Yeah, like it really does. And like, you know, like with older people, like our grandparents and stuff like that, they are not shy to tell you, oh girl, you look kind of big on there. And you're just like, Nana, why would you you know, and you're just like, damn, what? You know, so it was just like, I just wanted to feel comfortable. Like that's all I wanted. I wasn't trying to go on any like crash diet, become super skinny or anything of that nature. I just wanted to feel comfortable. So, but I have been working out for a while. My fiance is a trainer, so I do like, you know, it's definitely a personal love of mine. So outside of him being a trainer, I'm very much just like, this is what I love to do. I love going to the gym. I love feeling good. I love the high that I feel afterwards and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of, hopefully, long story short.
Yeah, really good motivations. I just think the point that I wanted to make with you, I mean, I feel like I'm so proud just to know you. And if anybody hasn't seen Kyra's videos dancing, you will just, I rabbit holed on her page so many times. I'm just so impressed. And, you know, a big piece of, you know, I can kind of be a more, I feel like an understanding coach, but sometimes a more strict coach as well. Like, I don't know how to describe it. No fluff, basically. Like, I'm not going to tell you that you're doing a good job when you're not. And I have to say, you know, some people, I think, when they sign up for any type of program, they just think that they're going to get results just by clicking purchase. And that's really not it. And Kyra has had such success in her personal life, only 25, and you can see all that she's done. And I know she's going to do so much more. But also with our coaching, you know, it's 50-50. Like, somebody has to meet me halfway. I can't do the work for you. And her background with dance and everything that she's done it's really apparent to me when I work with somebody that has developed that level of discipline, and you can see it extend into every other area of her life. And so that's also sometimes that people that don't have a very strong discipline muscle, this is really great, because then when they start coaching, you know, they start being more disciplined in other areas of their life. And, you know, I've had people eliminate debt, get promotions, just better relationships, all types of things. But I do think it's important to say, like, your level of dedication and discipline is a really important factor in this.
I guess we'll go ahead and start with the question.
Yeah.
Okay, the first question we have is, did you have to change your diet drastically and everything? And I'll start with, for me personally, I said not necessarily, simply because I already experienced counting my macros and stuff like that. So I was already like understanding that part. If people don't necessarily know what macronutrients are, it's your protein, your carbs, and your fats and everything. And then like each macronutrient carries a certain amount of calories. So like your protein is 4 calories, your carbohydrates is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories and everything. So I kind of understood that part, but don't necessarily let the description of macros like scare you off or anything of that nature, just because you don't, if someone in here doesn't know what they are or isn't experienced with it, you know what I'm saying? It's a tool. Just like if you were on a meal plan, it's a tool. So you really want to focus on like just creating a healthy lifestyle that isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily about changing your diet like drastically. It's about creating something sustainable that you're able to maintain, but also maintain a level of discipline while being able to enjoy your life at the same time, you know? So it kind of, you figure out what works for yourself by kind of discovering things about yourself along like throughout the journey and everything. And then you're kind of able to figure out a balance, if that makes sense. So I don't feel like it was a drastic change. I was honestly, because I was kind of restricting myself at the time, I wasn't restricting myself like in a crazy sense, but it was still kind of restrictive in my own mind because I was doing the whole like restrict binge, restrict binge, restrict binge. So I actually felt like I had a little bit more freedom once I decided to have a coach, because I was able to understand just the mechanics and kind of see where I needed to implement some level of control over my eating habits and stuff, if that makes sense.
And that's also one of the first things that we did was we actually, because you said that you had been binging a little bit, you were trying to keep your weekly average really low or your daily targets pretty low. Mm-hmm. And that's what was leading to the binging. So one of the first things that we did was just increase your overall intake. And that's why we started to even get some initial results was, it opened it up for you to not feel so restricted.
Exactly. Next we have, what's your opinion on carbs? I kind of wanted you to answer this one because I feel like you'd explain it a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like carbs are essential. They are the most readily utilized source of energy for the body. Every macronutrient has its place. I think you did a nice explanation of the protein, the carb, and the fat. And every macronutrient has its place. Protein promotes satiety. Carbohydrates will do that as well because that's where your fiber comes from. Fat also promotes satiety and is related to hormone health. But it's the most readily utilized source of energy for the body. And people really fear carbs. There's been so many diets that are like low carb or keto or this or that. But I just believe so much in having balanced meals, right? Meals that contain all three, because when I'd like to say this, deprivation leads to desire. So if you deprive yourself of something, you're going to want it more and more and more. It's like this little food rebel that starts to come out as soon as you start to say, okay, no more this, no more that, and really restricting yourself. So I see when people are being very restrictive with carbs that they have poor workouts, poor energy. For people that have any type of, if you're in a really stressed environment or if you have autoimmune, this can really exacerbate autoimmune or thyroid issues. Increase in cortisol, things like this, not supporting your workouts, just increasing the overall stress load. It's just, and I mean, I don't think you should be really eliminating any food group unless you have some sort of, food sensitivity, allergy, or, deep value or religious beliefs why you don't eat something.
Exactly. Yeah.
The more inclusive, the better.
That's how I feel too. I had put like a couple of things. I just said you will never see me cutting out carbs and going keto. That's just not something I can't do it. I literally can't. And then unless it's like a life or death situation, you're not gonna see me cutting out carbs. Like my first thing is like, where's the bread?
Yeah.
I love bread. I love cake. I like it all. And if I feel like I can't have it, it's the same thing. I feel like, oh shoot, I can't have it. I gotta have it now, And then
you've had amazing results too, like not eliminating carbs. Your carbs never, did we ever bring you below 185 or 165?
I think my lowest was like 170.
Yeah. That's like 3 full cups of oatmeal, just for reference for people that don't understand macros. That's a lot of, that's a decent amount of carbohydrates. You don't have to cut carbohydrates to get results. Absolutely.
I have a bagel every day.
Yeah.
I'm getting in my bagel. And then that little coffee cake thing that I have on my
that looks good.
I absolutely have one of those like every other day.
That looks good.
And then the only other thing I put on here was just, I put like your body needs carbs to maintain muscle mass.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And one of my biggest things was I like my muscles and I just did not want to lose those. And I personally felt like over quarantine and stuff like that, I had gained some muscle because I was still working out in the midst of like, my whole like restrict binge series and stuff like that. And I, unintentionally gained a little bit of muscle, especially like in my biceps and stuff. And I was just like, I think I want to keep that, So your carbs are very, very important if you want to maintain muscle mass while dropping fat simultaneously. and everything. And that can mean different things for some people. Sometimes it can mean you can maintain your weight and you just lose fat and like your muscles sustain and fill out and stuff, or or you could lose fat and drop pounds and stuff like that. So like the scale isn't always like the end all be all when it comes to that.
Yeah, you hit on something really important, which is the carbs are filling your muscles out. And that's something that's really a bodybuilding technique too at the same time, right? Carbs are getting lower towards the end, and then right at the end, what do bodybuilders do? They eat a ton of carbs because you have glycogen stores in your muscles. And so, a lot of times people think this, but working out is like a pump, and you need to get that pump, you need carbs to fill them out. And sometimes people look skinny fat, for lack of a better term, because they're not eating enough, and then they start eating more, and then they fill out, and then they look leaner. So it's that you need to eat more to be more filled out.
How did you motivate yourself and love yourself? I wrote something down for this, but I'm just gonna like go off the dome. I sounds kind of cliche, but I decided to just trust the process. I was definitely in a place where I was uncomfortable with my body, and I was doing my best to not like be that person who's just like, I'm so fat, or doing that kind of stuff. So I personally think I'm still on that journey, to be honest, of like figuring out like self-love and not getting attached to an aesthetic goal, you know what I'm saying? Because even though I'm just like, okay, great, Kyra, you've reached your goal now, I do understand things can change, things will change, your weight does fluctuate, and life just happens sometimes, it might be a period of time where I'm not able to like make it to the gym as often, or I might book a job or
you just had an injury. Still, like,
I had no words. I was like, what? Come on. Like, I think the hardest thing for me was like, I thought I wasn't going to be able to dance. I cried myself to sleep.
I bet. Yeah.
It was like, my fiance had no idea what to do with me. He's like, you okay? I'm like, So, but yeah, like life just happens sometimes. I understand that like things are going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, plan on having kids. Your body's inevitably going to change when you have kids. And I'm going to be probably right back at square one doing the same thing that I'm doing now. So I understand that like I can't get attached to an aesthetic goal. So, but at the beginning of the journey, I was very focused on like, if I want a long-term result, you know what I'm saying? I cannot expect a quick fix right now. So, and I knew that I could trust my coach simply because I saw results on her page, and I was like, Lauren's going to get me right. So, and I knew that like, okay, if we're going to, do the diet before the diet, which was essentially just like, let's make sure the intake is consistent and stuff like that. I knew that my body was going to, stay exactly where it was at the time. And I couldn't expect it to change drastically. It was definitely making changes and everything, but I wasn't expecting to drop 20 pounds, at the very beginning. So it was very much, Kyra, you have to trust the process, and, you'll get there. You just have to just be consistent and trust that your coach is going to, give you the tools so that you can have sustainable results rather than a quick fix and then bouncing right back to where you were before.
Consistency is huge. Consistency over time. And, I have a little bit of there we go. This had a little bit of lag. Consistency over time. And also, that's not how my coaching works. My coaching isn't a quick fix type coaching. So the people that I work with have to understand and really want, something that's long-term sustainable, and be willing to put in the work and the time to really achieve something, but it's worth it, right? You're going to achieve something, understand down the road, and I like how to maintain, how to pivot, how to adapt and do those things, because your body will not remain stagnant. We age, things change. You could, have an accident, you could have children, you go through a terrible divorce, like you could have a bodybuilding blow up, like there's lots of things that can happen. And, you know, I think when it comes to how do you motivate yourself and love yourself, I think that's the motivation. I love myself, so I take care of myself.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that one. This one says how to eat healthy, all food groups / good quality on a budget. How to eat healthy on a budget, basically. How to eat good quality food on a budget. I put trial and error, to be honest. You know, like we all know, like usually, like what the nutrient dense foods are, essentially. But I just put what I put before, which was like I went ahead and got a meal delivery service, or like went ahead and got my ready-made meals because I just knew it was just easier. But outside of that, I was getting things like berries. I was eating a lot of like raspberries and blackberries. I know some people feel weird about cottage cheese, but I'm a cottage cheese
So
fan, and
good.
I just douse it in some honey. You know, I would put like 1 or 2 tablespoonfuls of honey.
Cinnamon.
Some cinnamon. I had some like honey almond granola that I would put on top of it too, and then put the berries on top. And like that was one of my ways of getting in my fiber for the day. On top of like it was a high protein source and it was a good carb source as well. But you know, essentially it was pretty inexpensive, in my opinion. So it was kind of just like finding things that I knew I would like to eat, and perishables that I felt like I wouldn't be wasting my money on, if that makes sense, outside of the meal delivery.
Yeah, I usually tell people, I'm like, get the meats that are on sale, right? What did this person say? Good quality. Just look for the sales, things that are in season. Definitely things that are in season. The vegetables that are in season, the fruits that are in season, the meats that are in season. You know, it might be salmon season or whatever it is. Focus on that. You can freeze things for a long time in advance and thaw them out. Not only that, but when you buy seasonal, you're going to, and you can cook in bulk. You'll save money, and those items are more nutrient dense, right? Because they're being picked and harvested at the right time, less transport, overall just more environmentally friendly and better for you.
So
Local, organic, in season, not being shipped in from all of these other places. That's like the most nutrient dense food you can get. You can eat healthy on a budget, 110%. I always, especially when people go on vacation, I always say, eat what's local. It's going to be what's the most fresh.
Did you have to increase workouts during the process? I'll let you explain this one.
Oh gosh, well you'd been active, and what we definitely did was we periodized your cardio. So I have a whole thing that I'll be putting out on diet periodization, but like with Kyra, like I said, we started, her intake was kind of all over the place, some binges, low intake, stabilized her intake, established the intake, got her cardio down to a lower level, right? So the intake is higher and expenditure is lower. And then as we go through the weight loss process, the intake, calories come down and expenditure does go up. And that's how we create a deficit, and that's how the weight loss occurs. You don't want to do this 0 to 100. That's what I always tell people. So I did a post today on cardio. So I see people going like, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to do an hour of cardio every single day. So it's 0 to 100. Suddenly they're running every day and doing all of this, which I understand why people do that. But, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, but the body's brilliant, and its job is to adapt. So it's going to adapt to that stimulus. So when we have a high intake and low expenditure and we do this, you don't want to go all the way at once because it will adapt to that. And then you're dieting unsustainably because you're already at 1,200 calories and an hour of cardio every day. Your weight loss will stall, it will plateau, and then what are you going to do? 90 minutes of cardio every day, 900 calories every day? It just gets into unsustainable territory very, very quickly. And so instead, what we do through periodization is like small decrease to intake, small increase to expenditure. So decreasing calories, increasing cardio, just a little bit. Less is more. How much weight loss can we get there? Once that plateaus weight-wise, or once we stop seeing results in the photos, we'll push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more. So this is a big component of the sustainability.
Yep. I felt like that was really, really helpful, because that was another area that felt like I was on a hamster wheel, as I was like let's just do more cardio. Let's just do more weightlifting. Let's just do more cardio. Let's just do more weightlifting. You know, it was just, I couldn't figure out like how I look is how I felt. Like, you know.
It's so funny you say hamster wheel, because I always call it hamster wheel of hell. Like, that's what I call it, is people are just like really like running nowhere fast.
Running nowhere fast. Meanwhile, my daggone fat was my daily fat intake was low.
Yeah.
So my hormones were like, why?
Shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So next we have, how long did your progress take? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I said I put the diet before the diet. You know, I said that took about like 3 to 4 months, because I started in October of last year.
Your birthday.
Yeah, right after my birthday. Woo! And then I think we ended it around January-ish.
Yeah, and I sort of like almost want to jump ahead, because somebody's question is like, I had somebody, you know, sometimes when I post, how did she's so social, like how does she manage her social life and do this and that? And I think that is probably a longer answer, but you know, the diet before the diet, exactly, like you were still I remember, I think you went to, did you go to Disney World?
Yeah, we went to Disney World.
Baby showers, like bridal events.
There's a lot happening.
There was a lot happening, but you did such a great job, and it wasn't necessary. You still progressed, and then even there was a time period where I felt like it was like an extravaganza, like party after party after party. But and you were like, I've not been 100%, basically, is what you were saying. And like the best thing about that was you were like, I haven't been 100%, and your expectations were in line with that. Because sometimes I get people that they're not 100%, and then they're like, I don't understand why nothing's happening. I'm like, well, you're not giving me good effort here.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that is, I remember, I think we even made, like, after you got back on track for a week or two or something like that, we made side-by-sides. And from the beginning to just you getting back on it for a week or two, there was already the diet before the diet was such a difference, right? You had really solidified these good, was it perfect? No, but you were already making really mindful decisions, and just like, doesn't have to be your best ever, just your best effort. And you were still giving good effort.
Yeah. And I feel like one thing that helped, because probably more recently, when I was like getting even closer and closer to my goal, we had some more like social events and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I knew that they were gonna have a god awful amount of food that I knew if I even took a bite, it was gonna be over with. So I was just like, I had to communicate with my friends, and this is when I'm just like, okay, you have to be okay with some of your friends possibly not agreeing with your goals. And stuff like that, and probably getting some weird looks because they might feel a little judgy, even if they don't feel judgy. I don't know, but like, I've definitely gone to a couple of social events and been like, look, y'all, I'm too close to my goal today to jack it up. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, but I was also hormonally, I feel, in a good enough place to where my cravings weren't like losing it. You know, I didn't feel terrible sitting there and not eating. Number one, because I knew I had a meal when I got home. And I would also probably eat one of these, you know, and have a protein shake right before I went to the place. So, and these are high fat too. They're like 21 grams of fat, which made me
high fiber.
Yeah.
12 grams of fiber. Yeah. So that's the thing, is like those eating strategies, right? You're having protein, you're having fiber, you're not going to an event hungry, you're having plenty of fat, you know, you've got a meal when you come home, drawing boundaries, like win, 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 all of that stuff. I think drawing boundaries could be another live, and you have to be really confident in yourself to be able to, you have to be dedicated to your goals, and you have to be confident in yourself to go and say, I'm really close to my goal. Right? Or like, this is really important to me. I don't care if you agree, but you're going to respect it. So.
Yeah, I literally was just like, look, I'm like, you can be upset if you want to, because I'm not eating. Not right now. I said I already ate. My Nana loves to feed me. My Nana literally called my cousin a couple days ago and was just like, Kyra came over here and did her sister's hair for 5 hours and didn't eat a thing. Is she okay? I was like, I'm fine, Nana. That's because you kept offering me vanilla wafers and spring rolls, and you know, it wasn't that these things were bad. It was just like, I know for a fact I already counted my macros for the day. I purposely ate a meal before I went to her house, and I ate a meal. Literally, I went to Chick-fil-A. I dialed in Chick-fil-A on my thing and went ahead and got me a chicken sandwich as soon as I left her house. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is not to like scare anyone, but this was the real of like how I was operating towards the end when I knew like I'm right here. I'm right here. Oh,
that's another thing too, is in the beginning, it can, like we said, the diet before the diet, it can be a little more loosey-goosey, and then towards the end, right? Like you're gonna have to dial it in at some point. There's a point where it's like, if your results are gonna get that, just like within bodybuilding, if you're gonna get ready for stage, there's at some point where there's just no more.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure. The second half was as far as like how long does your process take, the cut itself, as far as like me just reaching the weight loss goal, because right now we're still in the reverse dieting phase, which we'll explain hopefully closer to the end. Was it 7:44 right now? We're gonna have to do a part 2.
We're gonna do a part 2.
We're gonna do a part 2, guys.
Cliffhanger, always leave them wanting more.
Yeah. But the cut itself took, I would say, like 4 to 5 months ish. April. I reached my goal with the end of May.
Yeah, because you're about 8 weeks into your reverse, right?
Yeah, 7-8 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So May, 4 to 5 months.
Just make a conscious decision and then enjoy it. Don't shame yourself after. Make the decision, enjoy it. Just let it. What's the point of like eating something or going drinking or whatever, and then the next day the only thing that's going to make your hangover worse is if you're laying in bed all day just berating yourself and you know all of these things. It's like, just say you had a good time. Yeah, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna be hungover tomorrow. That's it, and enjoy. Yeah, and just enjoy it, and then move on.
Because like, long story short, I was what's that? This is towards the end. I think when I had like reached my goal mark or whatever, and my fiance was doing something at a park, but one of our friends came in town, so he was like, I'm at the park, she's here, you want to go ahead and come through? And I was like, yeah, cool. Got my car, drove down there, parked and everything, and then he was still packing his stuff up from his training and everything, and my girlfriends were just like, okay, so Wayne said we're going somewhere to eat, and I said, he knows I'm on a diet. I was like, why did he do that? But I was like, okay, it's fine. I said, I'm happy you're here, so I'm gonna go eat with you guys. That night I went and ate, you know what I'm saying, and yeah, I refused to feel bad about it. I literally could not. I went ahead but at the same time, it was still like one of those things where it was in moderation. And I also, once again, having the mental, hi, Chuck Monk. He said hello. But yeah, like because I decide to eat things that I enjoy on the daily basis, I don't have that thing in the back of my head that's just like, oh, like I'm never going to enjoy food again. You know what I'm saying? So when I do go out now and eat, it's not with this whole binge mentality, because I'm just like, I'm never going to have this again and I'm going to have to restrict tomorrow. You know, that's not how I felt. I was like, I'm cool with this one drink. Honestly, it didn't make a difference when I stepped on the scale that week from that one meal, because I was consistent, but also my mindful decision was, oh, there's no need to binge, because you're going to have good food tomorrow. You're going to have good food the next day. You know what I'm saying? And this food's not going anywhere.
The food's not going anywhere. And that's how a lot of people get into this kind of like Last Supper mentality. Like, this is the only time that this is my meal plan, and everything is so strict. I don't eat foods that I like. I can only have this very narrow window, that then they feel like, oh, this is my chance. This is my chance to like go crazy and do whatever I want. But sometimes when I work with people, they say, how will I handle vacation? I'm going on vacation in 2 months. How am I going to handle this during the program? I'm like, I think by the time 2 months rolls around, your relationship with food is going to change significantly. And it's not going to feel like this is my chance. It's just going to, like, when you know that you can have whatever you want, it just changes. That restriction is what shoots a lot of people in the foot.
Next we have, what is the biggest piece of advice you have about the journey? For me personally, I put my cliche but very honest advice is to trust the process and do the work. Stop looking for quick fixes. I consciously knew when I reached out to Lauren that she was not a quick fix kind of coach. And if I see a coach, and if you see a coach like that who promises those quick fixes, I kind of encourage you to continue your search. You know, yeah, because in the long run, it's just going to be a lot better. And then, you know, losing the weight or losing the fat, depending upon whatever your goal is, at a slower rate allows your body to catch up and adjust so that you can keep it off long term.
The quick fixes, it's the carb elimination, it's the restrictive stuff. But I love what you said at the beginning, because a lot of people don't understand, like, a lot of this work, and that's what, like, you have the discipline, you set boundaries with yourself, with other people, and you don't bargain. You don't cut corners. You don't say, well, you know, I'm kind of close to my macros or this or that. Of course, you have this 80-20 balance. That's perfect. I'm not asking for anything more outside of that. But, you know, I see a lot of people that are trying to do some bargaining and kind of not be fully committed and not be all in there. They're looking for the shortcut. Yeah. No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. No shortcuts. Okay. This one says, what are your go-to snacks, meals, and eating times? I tried not to be extensive with this. So snacks, once again, hate to say it, I promise you these people are not sponsoring me in any way, shape, or form. The off the farm bars.
I want one of these bars now.
They're so good. They're look, literally for my flights this weekend, for the shows that I had to do, these saved my daggone life, because we didn't eat for hours, okay? We didn't eat for hours, and I was like, I'm so hungry. So I had these, and once again, it was the fiber. I'm just saying, it was the fiber, the high fat. I packed these protein shakes in my bag. Protein shakes is on my list of snacks. The Yazzo ice cream bars.
Oh, those are so good. Mint and cookie dough.
YASSO, Yazzo ice cream bars. I get mine at Publix. I get them at Kroger. I don't go to Walmart much, so I don't know if they have them at Walmart. I would assume that they do. But those are honestly a lifesaver, because I'm a big ice cream fiend. Like, when I would binge a lot of the time, I would binge on literally an entire pint of ice cream. So ice cream bars, the off the farm bars that I showed you guys, and then the whole cottage cheese, berries, granola, and honey situation. I like that as a snack a lot of the time, once again, because it's nutrient dense and stuff, and I don't feel super hungry afterwards because I just had a whole bunch of fiber and all that great stuff. Someone said in here, on those days that you don't want to work out, do you push yourself in discipline or give yourself a day off? It honestly depends. Some days I just listen to my body and I just be like, okay, like, I definitely had a hard workout yesterday, or I've definitely been going like crazy for a good like 3 or 4 days. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a day off, you know, which is why I prioritize those 2 days off, because I don't tell myself, oh, I'm taking Saturday and Sunday off. I don't really do that. I use my days off on those 2 days where I feel like, all right, I think I need to go ahead and take a day off today. You know, I'm going to go ahead and use this day off.
This is,
some days I just go.
I can't see the new comments for some reason, or the questions weird, but I think, and this goes back to what I said before, is when you're like, are you in a good mental space to start doing this stuff? And when people say, well, how do I know when I should take a rest day and when I need to push through? And honestly, only you, the individual, will know that, because only you know when you can give and when you need to rest. That's all that it is. It's that level of honesty with yourself. Do you just not want to do it, or do you really need to have a rest?
Exactamento. Does your coach only give diet tips or does she help with workout tips as well? I said Lauren gave me both.
I gave both, and I will help with workouts, but I make it abundantly clear that my focus is on nutrition. Trainers are so valuable, right? I mean, I had a trainer years and years ago. He helped me learn how to do a kettlebell swing, and to this day, I still get compliments on that. I'm like, that's because I invested in a trainer that taught me how to do it properly. And again, it's accountability, right? That's what people, I'll get a trainer, win this, or no, you don't get a refund with your trainer. Like, you're paying for that session. You need to show up, you need to go. And if you don't go, you're still paying for that session. I want everybody that has a trainer to know that you're paying for that time. But that being said, I will help with workouts, but I don't do programming. I'm not like doing progressive overloading. I'm not looking at form, none of that. That's not my specialty. So nutrition focus, help with workouts, but yeah.
Yeah. I would say more so like if you're pretty okay in the gym and you're pretty much looking for a nutrition coach, because let's be real, the nutritional aspect of your fitness journey in general, like, it's really, 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 really important. If you're someone who's already like pretty comfortable with lifting and you need the nutritional advice and you really just need that push and kind of like someone to gauge your cardio and stuff like that, like, Lauren was very, very, very helpful for me in that aspect, because the cardio aspect for me was like, should I do cardio? Should I not do cardio? There was so much information out there as far as like, should I do this? Should I do that? I was like, I don't even know how much cardio I should be doing. Like, it was so much. So I already knew how to do the whole like weightlifting situation, but like as far as like how much cardio I needed and what to do with my nutrition, I was at a loss, regardless of how much nutritional information that a lot of my followers and a lot of my friends know me to already have. It was just not, I just wasn't there, you know? So that's where the help was for me.
I tell people too, I seem to work with two types of people that are like, I don't even know what a macro is. They have no idea, and that's totally fine. I teach people how to do that, and we'll set you up with a meal plan so you can use it as training wheels to track along with and understand these strategies that we've been talking about, why you need regular meals, eating enough, diet periodization, protein, carb, fiber, fat, the eating strategies, teaching you how to count macros and doing all of that. But then also I seem to also work with people that they've done a lot of work on their own and they just get to this point where they're like, I'm stuck, I'm frustrated, I need help, and I'm tired of, like, I'm just ready to expedite this process.
Right. Exactly. Someone down here asks, what do you do on your rest days? Walks, yoga, or just nothing? Ooh, okay, I'll go first. So on my rest days personally, because I'm still like focused on getting my steps in, I'm using the hand cycle for my steps for the most part, and I might go to the lake down the street from my house to just get like a few laps in to finish my last like 2,000 steps or something of that nature. But yeah, I literally, I'm really resting on my rest day. I literally just go to the gym, get on the hand cycle for an hour while I'm watching a YouTube review or something of that nature. And that's it for the day. Like, I'm not doing anything strenuous at all. I'm literally, if I was still like, if I wasn't injured, I would literally only be going to the gym to get a 1 hour walk in, and then I would leave.
Yeah. Rest days are interesting. I used to struggle to take rest days. And so, there's a lot of ways to approach them. You can just walk, you can do yoga, you can lay on the couch all day. It can be a really great time to catch up on your meal prepping, your chores, spending quality time with other people, just enjoying like a full day on the couch or whatever it is that you want to do. And, your body grows outside of the gym. Right. It's rest is so essential. More is not always better. So it's so vital to take that. I know some people struggle, but yeah, use it as an opportunity to keep yourself busy. Or something that I used to do is when I have a really busy day, that's my rest day, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, client check-ins, calls all day long. I don't have time. This isn't a good day to work out. Like my capacity is already stretched in another way.
So you guys should definitely follow Lauren on her Instagram. I honestly am eternally grateful for you because I truly feel like my relationship with food has changed. You know, I feel like my mood has changed. I feel like my hormones are better. And, you know, and ultimately once again, my goal was just to feel comfortable dancing on stage again, you know, and feeling comfortable next to the people that I'm dancing with. You know, it was, it may be superficial for some people, maybe not, but that was my goal. And this weekend I was able to get on stage and literally only think about the fact that I love what I do, you know, and that in itself just means so much to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. And you've been like rock star client. All the things that I mentioned in the beginning, the discipline, the no bargaining, setting boundaries, so many things.
Love. Well, we're going to go ahead and end it there, guys. We'll probably see you again soon. You know,
Yes.
You'll probably see it on Instagram when we decide to go ahead and do the part 2 or something of that nature. We'll coordinate on that. But thank y'all for coming.